Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. Whatever time it is at your place. I hope you're having a good day. Let's show some face, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Needs a shave. Otherwise, it's alright. Okay. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. We are in a premier draft where we drafted yesterday, and I was having such a bad day in the games. We literally went like 0 and 3 in one and 1 and 3 in another. One was sealed, so the sealed token got us like nothing. The realm breakers were like half of our rares. 3 rares were realm breakers or something, just insane. And I just couldn't put together a deck that had any power, any presence. It was just horrific. When there was 3 bombs later, it was over. Right? Like everybody had a bomb on turn 5, and it was game over. So I decided to do another draft, and the draft kind of took me down this direction because we got a bomb of our own. Yay! I didn't have a lot of Praetors from the past, so I was very, very happy to get the art and the card. I think that they're pretty cool. We'll figure out if there's a place to play it in historic or something like that. But between now and then, I said I'm going to just build a very streamlined kind of deck. And then pick number 2 showed up, and it was a bit in a different direction. But this Invasion of Urgatha I like a lot because it deals a lot of damage to face, and it also deals a 1 little ping to get rid of an annoying guy. You can use it as a finishing move. Um, who knows? The the 1 damage is up to you. You can choose to wait on that and use it for it, or you can just worry about flipping it. I think you should worry about flipping it more than anything, because if a non-creature source you control would deal damage to a creature, an opponent deals that much +2, right? And so, what you're looking at there when you're seeing like to a creature, battle, or opponent, you're starting to look at things like Vanquish the Weak. This destroys a target, but this guy gives -3/-3. Now, if these guys were on the deck, it would be -5/-5, and it's a convocable spell. So we could just tap a few little extra guys, and boom goes the dynamite. Final Flourish is a -4/-4 because of or -4 like damage, like it's -2/-4 kind of deal. Um, so that's all good, right? Other things to look at too is I think that might be it. I did have this little pinging guy in here that would do 2 damage, and then it would suddenly turn into 4 damage. And if you had 2 of these guys, it would turn into 6 damage. So there is a bit of a win con waiting for us in the Onaki Javeliner, um, which has got me slightly interested. But what I have found is that after doing 4 damage to face, and we flip this thing, and we'll talk about how to flip it in just a second, it's usually game over, right? Like we're usually got so much value on the board by then that everything is in the 3 and 4 line, and we've usually been able to get rid of a creature along the way with maybe a battle trick, or maybe we've thrown some menace onto something. But at that point, we've got enough to get us to here, right? We've got enough to put out some big guys or to get us to there, or whatever the case is. So this is definitely a bring it out earlier, not later. It's not a really finishing kind of move. It's more of like a develop your board as fast as possible kind of move. One of the testing things that I've done is to really test this thing out to figure out where because I don't know battles very well. So I thought like maybe if I can figure out when to throw it. If I throw it earlier, it seems to do a lot more work than if I wait longer, because of the fact that you're getting a prowess 4/4 on the back end, and that's just sweet. Very, very sweet. You can use the prowess to boost up this creature when you throw the second invasion of Urgatha that we got. So we've got kind of a really battle-centric focus here in the middle, and in order to go after battles, I thought things with haste would be important. I thought things that deal damage to like a creature would also deal damage to the battle, right? So when it deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to a target planeswalker that player controls or a battle. And those are the battles that you've cast. So this guy could get in for 2 or 3 damage, trample over a kind of a smaller blocker, and then that 2 or 3 damage would also register over here on the Invasion of Urgatha. And so Rampaging Raptor is a really fun card that makes it really tough for them to block. Other cards that I've really liked that I think overperform are the Aetherblade Agent I really wish I'd had like 2 or 3 of these guys to kind of create the sort of slowdown in the beginning that I want, since I'm really trying to get to the end game over here. But I'm living without it because if I can get to, let's say, turn, 4, and I flip this guy, he deals combat damage to a player and then gets to draw a card. And that drawing a card is so big. I think that a lot of people are willing to give up a creature to prevent 3, damage to their face, but they're much less willing to give up a creature to prevent it to a battle. And this thing will give you that even if it damages a battle. So I do think that turning this into a card draw engine is maybe one of the best things we could do with 4 mana, more than even throwing out the Rampaging Raptor to a certain extent. Um, so we'll just have to kind of take it and see what the blocker situation looks like. If the blockers look big, Aether Blade becomes a really nice way to maybe get around that and put some things on there and get a card or two out of it. Bladed Battle Fan is also a really nice addition to the Aether Blade to maybe utilize him in the early place. So you cast this on turn 2. On turn 3, when you're attacking, you Bladed Battle Fan him after like someone makes the kind of drop. He doesn't disappear, and then when you flip him, he does retain the equipment, and so now you've got a 4/3. Death Toucher that's just going to draw a card every time it gets home. It's going to become something that they have to answer, and you're accomplishing this, by turn 4 down here in the small ball category, which is important. This guy flips and makes a body. I think he's much more of a defensive creature when he flips. When he dies, he makes another body as well. And so he can just feel like for 2 mana, a very, very difficult guy to get through if he doesn't die, right? So I tend to not attack with him because I like the idea of like costing other turns, maybe doing some damage with one of these 1/1 sapperlings, and then utilizing things like Final Flourish as a way to sacrifice one of those little guys, or even we don't have the 1 mana spell. We do actually own it. It's right here. But we'll get to that later. I ran into a lot of problems in testing with this when I had it built the original way. So anyway, like I said, it's good. It's not great. It doesn't have the biggest amount of synergies. And besides the Aki Scrap Chomper as, again, just a chump blocking kind of way to sacrifice an artifact or a land, maybe if we've got an extra Beamtown Beat Stick that doesn't seem to have a good fit, we can turn it into a card. And so there is ways to replace cards and to kind of keep some card advantage going down here in the bottom. We do have a burn spell or 2 that would do some things. And I kind of like this one too in the beginning. You can kind of clean through your hand, maybe take out something that doesn't look like it's going to do a lot for you. Maybe one of these beat sticks is an example, or an Aki Scrap Chomper, and turn it into a card like something up here that would really do. And then that's how we're going to survive the first 2 to 3 turns, right? We're going to get some board presence. We're not looking to push a lot of damage. We're looking to prevent mostly a lot of damage. And then once we get into here, we're going to look at converting these guys into making them into real threats, right? Real things that the opponent has to deal with. Other cards that we've got, this is it's a 3 mana 2/2, and whenever you sacrifice a treasure, you can get a +1. We won't be sacrificing the treasure, but we will be using this as a ramp card. I do kind of dig this card as a later game synergy with this one, and we'll talk about that in a second. And so it's in here because I think it's going to make sure that we have less splash problems, maybe allowing us to double pip this out a lot earlier. Having that treasure would be flexible, and you get it when you attack. It's not something that you get when it hits or whatever the case is. So as soon as you attack. So if this thing is just 3 mana and it attacks and it forces a block and we get a treasure out of it, I think it's probably done its job. It's probably moved us closer to getting some of these guys up and out of there. It may even allow us to hold on to something like a Furnace Host or a Gloomfang Mauler instead of having to cycle out the land piece on there. So Captain Lannery Storm, pretty solid 3-drop, even though it's more of just a ramp kind of deal. Now, not thinking about ramping, Hanger Scrounger is excellent. You can toss this onto something like a Captain Lannery in order to also get the ability to clean a card out on the way. It's a body, it's a blocker. It doesn't do a ton of damage with the 2 damage. It's not going to help you flip a lot of things, but it is going to help make sure that you're staying on time and that we're getting up into this area as fast as possible and cleaning through cards that we don't want and to getting to places that we do. So we do have some cards that are down here that we might not want as a late game kind of cast. And so, this Hanger Scrounger giving you 1 card clean with a +1 that it hands off, and then a second one when it goes to block or it goes to attack on the back end is a lot of value in there. I do kind of dig it. I was looking at other cards besides the Hanger Scrounger, and I'll show you why I ended up landing on this guy. I think the second Hanger Scrounger that you end up throwing, if you do, you're best off putting the backup on itself. You'll miss out on 1 card clean, but usually you're not that desperate. You've usually had an opportunity to kind of curate your hand quite a bit by that time. And at that point, he's going to have 3 damage and 2 toughness. And that's going to turn out to be important. We'll talk about that in a second. The Artisan is a nice transform kind of card that can go ahead and start to give us some flyers on there. It can help us flip some battles later, and it comes out with haste. So if you end up throwing this out on the, let's say, turn 3, you can come back to this guy on turn 4, pop him out there with haste. If he doesn't have a clean line of attack, it's okay, because you can just flip him on turn 5 and turn him into the beater that you need to kind of finish this thing off. This is also another guy on turn 4 that you might want to cast, or turn 5 that you might want to cast. I like this on turn 5 because essentially he's going to make his own crew, right? And so he's going to hit the deck, he's going to have haste, and he's going to want to be a 4/1 missile that comes out and does a ton of damage and then leaves behind a 2/2 on the back end, right? So that's not bad for 5 total mana. You can spend it across multiple turns, or you can spend it all at once. My line of thought was it would work really, really nice as an out-of-nowhere attack or an out-of-nowhere finisher, and it has amazing synergy with 1 more card. So we'll go over that in just a sec. Final card that we've got is the reason why we have our Battle Trick and our Beamtown Beatstick. We're not just ramping to try to get to these end game kinds of stuff. If we can stick those kinds of pieces of equipment on Valduke over here, he comes in as a 3/2 for 2. That's not the greatest, but it's not the worst stats that gets involved. But when we toss a piece of equipment onto this dude, he's going to create a 3/1 at the beginning of the combat. And so he doesn't have to attack, but his 3/1s can go in there and attack, and it's fine if they get killed. It's no big deal. So they're going to keep kind of just being little 3/1 missiles, and ideally we put both pieces of equipment on the guy. But even if it's just one, just having that ability to always have a blocker and always have an attacker at 3, and really kind of cool. I think we're going to end up punishing the opponent a lot more than ourselves. Rampaging Raptor is just super fun card. This was what inspired me to take the second Invasion of Urgatha. I did pick this guy up on turn 3 or so. 4 mana, 4 trample and a haste, and then you can use 3 more mana to give it +2. That does come into relevance when you start to look at the trample piece, and you just need that last, damage or 2 to get over the top. Throwing that on there after the blocks are there and everything looks good can work out pretty nice. But this thing also just, if you can hit face and then also assign damage over to this, and then this flips, and then now, even though he's tapped, you've got a 4/4 blocker on the back end. He's just really good. Like, this playthrough line is nutty over here. You could also throw, Valduke's little guys over at this thing too. So there's a lot of positives that come from having the ability to flip our invasion. So name of the game for turns 1 through 5 is, prevent some damage, survive long enough, throw an invasion out there, and then flip that invasion, right? Like, that's what we're trying to do. And we've got a lot of hasty creatures. We've got a lot of expendable bodies that we can throw at it. We've got a lot of, payoffs in the form of ramp that we're still going to be able to throw at it. And we've got some card cleaning that can happen as well. So just a lot of ways to really focus in on this Invasion of Urgatha. If everything worked to plan, we would be dealing 4 damage to face twice, and that would be pretty sweet. But wait, there's more. I really, really, really want this card to hit the deck ASAP. Now, if he's in the companion side of things, you can only have cards with odd mana values. And I thought about that as being a pretty good answer because we've got 7, 7. So we would lose this, but I've got a 5 mana thing that I can stick in there. And then we would lose all of this, right? And so if I was to stick the companion in there, I would need to get, let's say, a 1 mana card in there. I would lose a piece of equipment, but I could replace it with a piece of equipment or two. So not the end of the world. 2 of those are answered. But 1, 2 bodies, right? I would end up replacing both of those bodies with essentially an Aki and an Aki, and yeah, he's 6 mana over here. This is 3 mana, 4 and 4, 5. So that's what I'm trying to say is like I really open out the 2 mana spot. I lose at least 1 removal spell, and I don't really gain any strength that's anywhere close to how these guys hold down the fort in the beginning of the game. I've tried playing it that way, and it hasn't worked out. I have gotten steamrolled so many times where I just don't have enough creatures during the first 2 or 3 turns to make it through. And so Obosh is not going to be our companion. But he is going to be a card, and we are going to look to cast him. He's got a really nice flexible casting cost. He only costs 5, and don't forget, between the boot stick and the Captain Lannery, well, that's like a turn 4 kind of thing, maybe even a possible turn 3 kind of thing in the most perfect of worlds. Maybe like let's just go with turn 4 or 5. But if we could even cast this thing on turn 5, all of these threats in the 3 spot double their power when they hit home. Either on a creature, if a source you control with odd mana value would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. So this is a 6/2. This is an 8/1. This thing does 8 to the face when it gets cast. See what I'm trying to get at here? This is a flyer that damages for 6. This is a 4/2 or 4/1 at minimum, but possibly a 6/1 on the back end. This is a 4/2 as far as the amount of damage it's going to do. And so these all become removal spells in my opinion because almost nobody reacts appropriately, and I've fallen victim to this as well, that when they are blocking, they're not checking the mana score and then reading this card and then figuring out. They're just losing creatures and they're like confused. Like, how did that happen? I blocked it with a, here's a, let's say this guy's a 3/2 because we threw the +1 on him for later. They block with like a Shieldred and it dies. And it's like, what? Like, it is devastating. So this is actually a bigger win con in my opinion than Rankle and Torben, but I love Rankle and Torben because of the first strike and because of that third option that's out there. I have gotten a chance to play with this card as well, and it's a total blast. Essentially, when it deals combat damage to a player, and it does get first strike, so it's going to go first, and it's going to do that damage before any other attackers do. If a source would deal damage to a player or battle, it's going to deal that much damage +2. Well, the order of operations from what I've seen is that it does the +2 and then it does the double. And so if both of these cards are sitting on the deck and this guy hits for the first strike for 3, it's going to hit for 6 instead of 3. And then it's going to give +2 to anybody else that gets home, and that's going to turn into +4 for anybody else that gets home. The last option would be to have Rankle and Torben go to do this anyway, and then pop the Invasion of Regatha out after the fact in order to get the, plus. It's not 8 anymore, it's 12. You're going to do 12 damage to face with a single Invasion of Regatha. So nice late game to the face winner if you've got these boys out here. If you don't, it's okay. It's still worth a lot of damage, but this is kind of like where our win cons begin. We have some nice board presence, and we're definitely going to try to transform our creatures. So we're going to try to keep them alive. We're going to be willing to take a wee bit of damage because we have so many ways to really start the damage train once we get to the turn 5 situation. So we're not gonna take an insane amount of damage, but if we can keep our damage count to 8 or 9 by the time that we get to turn 5, I think we're going to be in a really, really good position. Last cards are typical here. I love having these because mana smoothing is a thing. So you can look at these as 2 drops that will help you just cycle and draw the exact mana that you're looking for, which is really important. Or it will be just an insane beater in the later part of the game. We don't necessarily have to wait till turn 7 because of the treasure, right, that we've got kind of going on there. And so if we can end up getting, 1 or 2 pieces of treasure, and we're looking at turn 5s and we're looking at turn 5, 6s for some of these, they become win cons in and of themselves. It's really hard to deal with them. And then finally, Shieldred for 7. If Shieldred comes out and they have a swamp on there at all, she can't be blocked. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, I'm going to pull a creature right out of the graveyard and put it right onto the battlefield. And so creatures like the Rampaging Raptor work amazing. Obosh, Rankle, they can come right out. There's no limitations, right? So we are going to kind of attack with some reckless abandonment. Ideally, we're going to look at the 3-mana position and the 5-mana position. But don't forget, it's just your graveyard, right? Not a graveyard. And so, not much that I can do, unfortunately. There's also another line that says at the beginning of the opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature, right? So they're going to lose a creature every turn, and you're going to gain a creature completely without having to spend any mana. Should be able to win the game pretty fast, especially if we're putting something like an Obosh back onto the field. And there you go. That's the name of the game. It may work, it may not. I've had a lot of frustration lately in blocking. I feel like I started doing this with, 18 different creatures that were in here. And what I was finding was people were owning me with their ability to win the combats, right? If they were winning combats either through removal spells, through bladed battle fans, I was in trouble. If they were able to add things like menace to their creatures, I was in trouble. And so now I'm looking at keywords as ways to try to win some of those battles that are on there. Backup not being the biggest one, but we also do have some removal and some burn in here as well. Not a lot of top end removal though. So one thing to consider is that chump blocking might become a thing, and unfortunately his creatures don't chump block. So that's why we've got a Scrap Chomper, a couple Hanger Scroungers, the Captain Lannery Storm. They're not, the token that's in there. We can lose some of these things. I'm okay losing this if it trades up into it, and I'm okay losing the Saprolings. So there's a lot of chump blocking in our future if we get to this position and the removal's just not there, just like desperate to try to buy the kind of time. I do hope, though, that the card cleaning and the transforming is going to keep us in a reasonable card advantage. I kind of, during testing, realized that if you spend your mana to transform a creature, that's not a card that you're playing. And it is like upgrading a creature pretty significantly. Taking 3 mana and turning a 2/2 into a 3/3 plus a 1/1 is essentially like the same as sacrificing a 2/2 and then using 4 mana to cast 3 mana with haste and a 1/1, right? Like the furnace or whatever guys were that were in there. We've seen that card come out quite a bit, and so you kind of want to look at that and say like that's a really good. Yeah, it's going to cost you 2 life, but 3 mana and 2 life to essentially do what we would have loved to have done on turn 4, but you're going to do it on turn 3. Yeah, I'll take that. That's solid. This one's a little bit later, but because of the card draw, if he's still on the board, and you've got 4 mana alive, probably would be more willing to flip him than even casting the Rampaging Raptor, to be honest. I like this in certain situations. We're going up against knights, and there's a lot of 2/2s flowing around that's in there. I kind of like this a lot. But yeah, I'll give you an idea. So an interesting deck. I've not done black red. This is not a black red sacrifice deck. This is more of a black red battle kind of deck, and it's really kind of trying to support bombs more than it is trying to win in the middle. But I've got enough interaction to win a lot of the first 3 or 4 turns. Like I really, really do. So without going into any more exhaustive detail, let's get in there and let's play a game. I think over-under on this deck is 3. Um, if we get more than 3 wins, it's all gravy. If we land at 3, that's kind of the middle line. And if we end up shy of 3, we're going to be a bit disappointed. We did pick up some cards, though, so it's not like we're not walking out with anything here. Got an invasion, got a cycler, and got enough mana to make it to the invasion. So all we really want to do is just avoid getting run over. We're going to give it a shot and say keep, because it's possible that the first thing that we cast is the invasion. Depends on what we see. We'll throw the red out first. Man, my hand's got a bear. These are cool, huh? All right, so we have a bit of control happening. I'm not going to cycle. I always think of blue-red. Like, blue has got so many control elements in this format. There's all this, like, tempo, pausing kinds of things. They've got doublings of spells. I think that the faster you get on the board, the better. Oh, this is perfect. And why is this perfect? 1 toughness, right? So we can go just like this. Hit there, hit there. All right, let's see what's next. Hey, Hasty 2-3 coming at you. Do the same. Sort of. We're going to ramp. That's fine. We can flip it with our harried artisan. If he flips his harried artisan to fly, I will get rid of it with Vanquish the Weak on the next turn, because I do not need to deal with a flyer. That is just not fun. He's thinking about it. He doesn't end up flipping, and this card does flip to a prowess kind of creature, which is a pain in the Batuski. I don't have any problems. Well, that's going to hurt, but that's okay. So we'll take 5 damage here, and then we will Rankle and Torben out on the next turn. And it is first strike flying with haste. So we should be able to flip said battle. It is going to cost us our thing, but that's okay. We're going to flip our battle real quick. Get it. Definitely not doing that. And we won't get anything out of that. So let's do this. I think we can get our Furnace Host out on the next turn. End turn. We can come in with a pretty devastating attack on the next turn. Having first strike flying, that gives +2 to anybody that gets home, and then having 2 creatures that can attack at strength. I mean, we might lose somebody in the attack when they can double block or something like that. We might lose somebody right here in the like tempo-y kind of way, right? I do think that we'll probably see something, because this has got to make them nervous enough to want to maybe change the harried artisan over, which I would love for that to happen. He just touched it because he was just thinking about it. If he flips that over, it becomes a what? 3/4, right? But that's a, mana and health, like a bunch of things that like he doesn't have anymore. Yeah, it's fine. Huh. I don't think that was a good move. But he's probably got another creature that he can use to fly and attack. So let's see. Okay. So choices are lose the Disciples of Inferno, but pop a lot and then just take one more hit from the Vanquish or the Phyrexian Skullflare on the next one. I think that's worth it. I think we just keep the pressure on him. He can't block Rankle and Torben. And what that means is he could either chump block the two or he could let one go by and then delete like the Furnace Host or the Disciples of the Inferno. I totally am fine. I think I would rather him. I'd rather him lose. I'd rather him lose the Kenra because it can become a much bigger thing in the future. But it's okay. Oh, that's so good. Oh, hello. This is a lot of damage. Oh. And I didn't lose a single creature. He's got some kind of plan here, but it's not working. Good job. Spend your mana. I have to think that if he had the pause spell, it'll come out now. I have 6 mana without even using my treasure, right? 7 mana without even using my treasure. And I do think that it is worth trading out the Onaki at this point because I think that's actually game, right? And the reason being is we go next, all attack, and then whomever's getting by is going to do more damage, and he doesn't have another card to play, and that's it. That's it. He doesn't have any mana to spend. There's not much he can do here. Boy, our deck worked like perfect. I said we were going to throw our invasion battle out first. We were going to focus on flipping it. And then we were going to try to ramp by using treasure tokens, which we used with our Captain Lannery Storm to get out our bomb as fast as possible in order to shove damage before bombs show up. And this is it. Come on, just go. Don't be like that. What are you so scared of? Is your creature count? Yeah, that sounds good. It's fine. See you later, pups. Battles, man. I'm just going to say it. Battles are the real deal. Just want to point this out too. I don't think anybody missed a land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Turn 7 win. I also kind of predicted what our health was going to be at too. That was just crazy. We were at 13 health on turn 5, which was exactly what I was saying. Was like, yeah, we're fine taking a little damage, but we don't want to get too far below that line. That was good. Okay, we're 1-0. Excellent start. Deck looked good. Now, is it always going to look that good? I can't tell you that. I don't know. I got a 1-drop. I got 4 mana in this draw so far. And we got a bomb. And we got an invasion. Hello. Nice. Mm-mm. Everybody be ramping here. Well, is that it on the mana? No, we still need like 2 more mana. So enough that it pans out. What does Wrath do again? When you cast an instant spell, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control in order to draw a card. Nothing. Like nothing. Say next. No attacks. And we're ramping. Okay. I'm only taking 2 damage here. Let me say no on the blocks. There's no reason to run into that situation. I could use this opportunity to flip this guy just to prevent that from happening. That's okay. Say no on the attack. I just think I could do much better. Okay. What would we like to give him? Does this only do that? 1 pile. Ugh, this sucks. I don't want to give him either one of these, but I'd rather give him that card than that card. See which one he takes. Okie dokie. 5 mana means I actually have the ability to flip a battle. Mm-hmm. Can get rid of that. Go like that. And then throw this. Don't care really about the 1. Cool. If he wants to sacrifice his Ayara, he can. I am A-okay with that. Like I said, A-okay with that. And we have 6 mana. God, I keep doing this. Oh, this sucks. Here you go. Okay. I think we have to cast this. Right? I'm going to hold it back and just attack with this thing. If he wants to come, I can use the Marauding Dreadship. He has a swamp. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is fine. And I could put Beat Stick on who? If I put a Beat Stick on you and then just leave one blocker, but then he's going to bring in two, and that's going to scare me. So I have to leave two blockers, unfortunately. So I guess I would just put the Beat Stick on you. Right? And then say next. I've got two blockers. Uh-oh. Damn it. That's it. Good game. He did good. He did real good. Unfortunately, he had a boon bringer, and I did not beat the Ayara. I needed a removal spell for Ayara. That pile thing didn't go my way twice. He picked the right pile twice, unfortunately, which is just a bummer, but it's okay. So now we move on. We're 1-1. We'd like to stay ahead of the death line. This is good. It's not the greatest on the early side of things, but it's good enough. Probably cast him first, especially with that sitting in the back. Go next and okay. I love how we're all waiting until turn 3 to put our first stuff out. That feels right. Yeah, no. at it. Okay, strong guy. What did you get up? Big old board wipe. Which makes me a little nervous, not incredibly nervous, about our Rankle kind of cast in there. But we'll go here and put it on early in order to all attack. Right, and then we click end. Probably throw this one next. Well, he's a legendary creature, so you either get rid of legendary creatures, which I've got 2 of, or you don't, right? He's got haste too, though. I think we do this. Down to 7. We can invasion for 4 and hit in the air on first strike for 3. So we have lethal in hand. But opponent could throw 1 more piece of mana and then get rid of Rankle. It would still give us a chance to double spell on the next turn, in which you would have to do like the Hanger's Crowner if we wanted to have a blocker to prevent the thing from flipping. He chooses not to go for the board wipe. Instead keeps the War Historian out as a way to stop. He does have that land, that mana. Transforming the 4/4. Yeah, I knew that was coming. We'll say done. Ugh. That's okay, though. We have haste, right? Yeah, I think we take the opportunity with defenses down to put out the Marauding Dreadship. He's not threatening anything more than 9 on the damage front. So we activate. We crew. We put. We all attack. And then we try to invasion for the win. We have to lose a card. Just lose that card. He didn't go for the board wipe, probably because it was going to affect him more than us. So this gold rare. I love his lands. They look cool. Preening Champion, Kogla, and Yadaro was the drop. He definitely had a ramp to the big guys strategy, and we're just trying to cut that off at the pass, right? He's going to get the flip. You may have him enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature, except it's a 4/4 black zombie, in addition to its other types. That's the copy. So this thing's going to gain haste. I think all that's okay. I'm a little worried about a counter. Well, I'm not worried about a counter spell anymore. Yay! So even just controlling everything the way we did all the way through, this came down to the very end. And he was threatening lethal. So, good game. Very, very good game. I don't remember if we went first or not, but that was probably the difference between these two, because we sold out our board presence in hopes to try to create as much, pandemonium on their side, and we weren't sitting on much on the back end. So yeah, we gave up one land, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't make it, you don't win by turn 7 or 8 with this thing. You don't win. It's just, it is what it is. But that's a really nice win. That was a good deck that he had. It was synergized pretty well. I'm impressed. And we just need one more win to make our, we'll call it our B goal. And the B goal is, right? Win. B. Yeah, let's go. Only 2 mana, but we do have a cycler, and we do like what we've got in the 2 mana positions in the 3 mana spots. So we're going to hold on to it because of the Furnace Toast. Okay? Opponent had to mulligan. So we've got card advantage right off the bat. He's in mono white coming out here. I do like that card. That's a good card. I think we do the Death Toucher for right now. Just really prevents them from wanting to come in. And there's that swamp. It's ramping. There's that mountain. He's got 3 colors going on. Scary. We did hit our land, so we're not cycling yet. I think it's time to get rid of this. Just way too scary. And then we'll say no on the attacks. Again, we're just trying to buy some time to get, through these little guys over here until we see one of our what are they called? Battles. Oh, we're drawing perfect. Okay. We can't double spell, unfortunately, and it's not worth cycling to do that. But we could do a 3-drop and then do a cycle and a 3-drop if we, well, a cycle and a 2-drop. So we kind of want to hold the 2-drop to allow us to do 2 things on the next turn. And I do think that this hasty little guy is a nice transformer for later. The only other thing I could think of is we could transform this now, cost ourselves 2 life, but then have a pretty scary threat. But he could just answer, though, right, with the familiar. So let's do this. And then I don't like losing the Aetherblade Agent to any of those 2 things, but if I had to, I would trade the Artisan with the familiar. I'll take 2 damage, he gets 2 life. It's got some benefits on that side. I think we keep the flyer. He's not a flyer yet, but he could be. Okay, this is what I was talking about before. If we didn't pull our land, and I think that we want to pull our land, I think we're going to put down the 2-drop and then just attack in with the Artisan, right? And so if that's what we're going to do anyway, in order to get that 5th land, in order to be able to cast Rankle on the next turn, I think we just attack with our Artisan, risk losing him. That doesn't seem like a good win. We'll go here. Okay, next thing we could do is put the beat stick onto the Artisan in order to give him Menace and keep the ramp alive. He's just not threatening a lot of damage right now. There it is. That is okay by me. That was coming on our attack anyway. Oh, look at you. Nice. Okie dokie. Think we put it all out right now. Throw the attack out. See what comes. Hate to give him it, but I'd like it. Because if we draw one more land, that's 6. If we draw one more land, we can put Gloomfang Mauler out. And yeah. We're going to take 6 here. And we'll always have a threat of 5 in the sky, so we'd be down to a 2-turn flip. Wouldn't mind a removal spell at this point. Okay. We did get this. That does give us the opportunity to put the Gloomfang out in order to make the block pretty nasty on the Skyflare. Prevent the bottom damage. Yeah, I think we need Rankle to get better. I think he needs to get bigger. Yeah, autopay is fine. Okay, so I think we just attack in, right? We'll do... He's got no more cards left, so we can keep ramping. We've got 2 cards left. Unfortunately, we would be trading in 5 damage for 5 damage. I don't love it, so I'm going to say no on the attacks. I'd love to get just one removal spell. Okay, he bricked, which is good. He's got all this transform theme going on, which is awesome. I am fine with that because... No! I pushed the wrong button. I'm so sad. There's nothing I can do. I messed up. I needed that guy to stop the top from happening. Yeah, that's not going to be enough. Hold on. Is he threatening lethal? 6, 7? Yeah, he's threatening lethal. Well, 6. No, he's not threatening lethal. I'll click end, I guess. It's not over yet. It's over. I didn't. If I just don't delete that card, I can block him, and if I can block him, it's dead. I just need to slow down. That cost me the game. One little click cost me the game. That sucks. It's okay. You guys ready for the gun show? You ready for the gun show? Yeah, look at the guns. Look at the guns. Look at the guns. All right. Let's be better than that. We do have that 3rd mana. Ooh. Opponent kept a hand of 7. Hello. I can't believe I messed up. This is a mulligan. There's just not enough land in there to justify it and make sense. We're not going to need more land. We're desperate for creatures at this point. Too much land. This could also be our death. Oh no. Oh no. 3 damage a turn. Mm-hmm. Hey, look at this. Coming in, tapped. Say no. At the very least, that slows down the Sigiled Sentinel. Hmm. Yeah, I'd rather do that now. This was like the worst start that we could have had, where we just draw nothing but land for the first 4 draws. Well, 1 creature, but I don't think there's any answer at this point. I think it's already over. Right? Good game. I was shocked that that happened. It's just all land. Yeah, there's nothing I could do. I don't love that. The one thing we needed to do was have somebody not run us over, and we did. So there you go. That's it. We got 1 win or 2. We got 2 wins. Just not good. And the most frustrating part about that is I cost it myself. I think that the deck was fine. I think I just did it to myself, and that's just so painful. I don't know the cards. I gotta pay more attention to the cards. What are you gonna do? You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna do another draft. Let's get back on this horse. Let's see how this draft goes. We're doing drafts in reversed order, right? I think we're 5th on that one. That's okay. After this draft, we'll take a break. That'll give some time for the degenerates to get off. All right. When the invasion comes in, it does 3 damage. It's a 5 mana invasion. That's not the greatest, but it's pretty solid. Emery is a very blue-centric. Like, I don't think I like Emery. I really like Inga and Essica. I think that this card in the green deck with a little blue splash is so good because it ramps every one of your creatures. So you can take a bomb in any color if you've got Inga and Essica, and that's worth so much. Other things in here, not much to be honest. The invasion looked pretty good right here, but we're going to take our rare and we're going to consider green a little bit stronger than typical colors. We could still do like a green black and then still get some of these excellent removal spells built into it. The rare is missing from this pack. In the uncommons, we have something that enters the battlefield. You gain 5 life and incubate 5. That's really nice, actually. A convoker, kind of a defensive creature, and a removal spell. I might be able to wheel this enchantment. I don't love doing nothing to the board on turn 5, and a Deadly Derision is just like the best removal spell in the game. And so even though it's not in the same colors, we're going to just kind of continue to take the card that looks like it's got the most amount of benefit. And we get rewarded with a siege that each opponent discards a card, and then you get to draw a card. We also have a removal spell in white. We've got kind of a boost, a pump spell for the black or the green-white deck. But we have some blue splashing going on. Maybe we're just splashing green, and we're looking at doing something like that. I do like this, but I don't have this, and there's something that I like about these more than most. I feel like there's a lot of really, really solid energy, like really, really solid value in each and every one of them. Okay, if we're in the +1/+1 counters, this thing can pay off. But again, it's a little scary. You have to have the board state there to do it. Really, really solid. This is pretty good. It's kind of like 1 mana less for a Contagious Vorak. And these are good too. We talked about these both before. I think I'd probably take the Pest here over the invasion. I know this invasion is good. I don't want to take another color. I'll take the pest and we'll start to build in a direction. We don't know what that direction is, but we're at least building in a direction. And we get a green black splash enabler, which is pretty solid for what we're in already. Um, this is a great card in white, and this is another good card we saw beat us because it essentially becomes a sacrifice engine in white. And so white seems to be wide open. We could make a pivot towards white, probably see another one of these, and take this card right now and just kind of avoid the fixing because I don't think we need to play all these cards. Um, if this Alabaster Host wasn't there, I probably wouldn't do that. We can do two of them? Oh, wow. Sorry. Incoming phone call. Not really worth taking. Not real. I mean, yes, it's very good in the ramp style deck, but we don't even have anything to ramp towards just yet. We have this amazing rare that's going to help us, but we might end up in um, like a green white flyer evasive board statey. I don't know. I have no idea what we're going to end up in, to be honest. Everybody likes Raph, man. I don't like Raph. Blue white. Here's a white card that does create another knight, um, which is pretty good. It's not the greatest. Preening Champion's a really good flyer, and it kind of pulls us towards blue. I do like it much better than any of these other cards, though. Wicked Slumber is also really solid control in blue, but we're still on the let's take the best card in the deck and then see how they played out together. Deadly Derision might just be part of our black splash after Inga and Essica come down. Red-white splash, unfortunately not the color we're looking for. Trample, Hexproof, 8 mana, 8/8 is the ramp target you're looking for, my friend. It really is. This is faster, though, and I kind of like it. Whenever permanent transforms or permanent enters the battlefield, you can draw a card, plus you get a 4/4 body that only costs 2 to come out. Yeah, I'm going to take this. The Tidal Terror is a close one for me, but I don't have any of these, and I kind of want to practice trying this blue-green deck out, or maybe some green white. I don't know. I haven't figured out yet. This is our opening pack. This sucker wheeled all the way through, but that's not terrible. Counter a target creature spell unless they pay 4, and if they do, you still get to do this. That's real. That's like a removal spell on a creature. That's pretty solid. Guess I'd probably just take the counter spell because I don't think artifacts are our thing just yet. And so we're trying to figure out what is that second color with blue. Protocol Knight comes in, puts a stun counter, change the equations, more counter magic. Um, Aerial boost, these aren't that good. I'm going to take the Knight. Going to take the Knight here. We already have a couple Knights, so we'll see. Where is that artifact? I guess we'll do this again, right? Assimilate Essence. We're playing a little bit of control. That's kind of like the removal. We're going to have to just keep our mana up and running. Uh, but I don't mind it. I especially don't mind the flyer control theme that we can do. And a lot of times flyers live longer, and so Inga and Essica can turn into some pretty neat, um, pretty crazy mana stuff on turn 4 if we can get there. Helps you splash. It's a green card. It's kind of an average combat trick. I totally agree. Don't really like this one. Guess we'll take the green splash. Yeah, we'll take the frontliner. Mostly for the collection. I don't think there's any way I play that card. And I don't, so owning it isn't even that exciting. It's another one of these like break glass if broken. Okay, there's our favorite invasion. It's not in the color. There's our favorite flyer, and I really think that we should consider that. I think that 3 flyers like that can transform is pretty solid. Don't see us really go into red. The Whelp doesn't offer us anything that the white card does. And then the City on Fire is cool. There's almost no chance like that we can cast it if we take it. So I guess we take the flyer because we're still in search of an identity here between green, white. Like we've got this green, 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 and I'm not really happy with that green. So we basically have 2 green cards. Everything else is blue and white. And Seraph of New Capenna matches with these like Protocol Knights. If we can find the knight that makes another knight, we can start to get some bodies on the floor that are expendable. If we can get some engines that create bodies, is what I'm trying to say here. Halo Forger is pretty solid. Here's the knight that creates the knights. Here is the green-white invasion that will put +1 counters on each creature. Here's the green-blue splash. So if I take this card, I can splash green, and I can play my white knights, and I can play my Inga and Essica. If I take this, yeah. If I take these, they kind of pull me in different directions, and they don't solve anything. This is going to be a rare pick to land. But the Thornwood Falls is going to make sense. Gonna help us splash, just like Overgrown Pest could also help us splash. Deadly Derision may not make the cut, and this invasion may not make the cut. We'll see. I definitely like this, but then there's this. Make a knight all the time. Remember I said I wanted an engine that makes knights? They must have been really happy with my last pick, because they gave us a flying, vigilant 2/2 that makes knights. Alright, we got a blue, white, flyers, and knights. A little bit of splash for Inga and Essica. Couple of counter spells for removal so far. We could use some other removal pieces, maybe. Hold down the floor. I would like some of those spells that pause people for a turn. And then obviously we want some beef. So if we can find the island guy. Well, look at you, Mr. Invasion of Mercata. Discard 1, get 2. It is a knight. It comes out early. It's pretty good. Yeah, I think we take this. This does everything that we ever wanted. Ever. Order of the Mirror. I mean, we don't need the knights on the deck, but we would like the knights on the deck. But it's okay. This is perfect. This is really good. I don't know what it's still doing in here. This is really good too. So which would you rather have? The trick that protects one of your guys, maybe allowing you to fake a trade. The invasion that's in your colors. When it enters the battlefield, scry 3, and then you can turn it into a 4/4 that's got trample. That feels good. All of these are good. Which one? What's our creature count right now? 9? I think we're good enough to take one of these. We're not going to get a try at every invasion in the world, so having one doesn't hurt. Green-white allows us to splash green. Bola Slinger opens up some lanes, but I found it to be fair. And we're going to have flyers anyway. We're not going to lead lanes opened up. Let's take the Blooming Sands. And that sort of solidifies the green splash. Order of the Mirror. There's a knight. 2/1. This one is an interesting spell. You can even use it on defense. if you're attacking one of those big bombs and then you whoop, throw it at something, or if you put it on a Phyrexian token, like there's so many good things. We're going to stay low to the ground and take the knight, but wasn't terribly far off. All right, so a moment of truth lets you just kind of trade out the card and draw. War Historian might be the better card, especially since we just picked up one. We got a knight in white. Let's keep the knight synergy alive. Keep the 2 mana, stay low to the ground, get some board stats. Maybe try the opposite of what we did. Last one we did was really bomb heavy and had a lot of mid-game kinds of stuff. Now, we'll try something a little crazy. Counter target creature or battle spell again. More removal. Stasis Field is like the yeah, I think we take the body here. I like flyers. I like knights. I like bodies. It does seem to me like the blue-white knight deck was wide open. I think the more knights we get, the more value the knights have. It's interesting. It's late enough in the game that you can splash it, and it does a lot for a creature, like a lot. When it enters the battlefield, each player mills 2, then you can put an instant or sorcery or battle card from your graveyard to the top of your library. Or we just do this. I think we just do the battle trick. Focus on interaction at the bottom. Yeah. I don't think I would ever play 2 of those. Okay. Phyrexian Censor, Invasion of Tolvada. Oh my god. It's a must-have. It's a perfect splash in black. We don't have a lot of black to splash, but it's okay. What are we missing? Thunderhead Squadron, Order of the Mirror, very replaceable, very filler kinds of things. Phyrexian Censor is not really good in our deck because we don't have any Phyrexians. And the Scout is good, but I'd rather take the risk and run that. Blue-black, this is good too. Or blue-green, I should say. This effect can reduce target creature can't block. I don't think it's feasible to companion it ever, but it's fine aggressive creature for now. It is in white. It's an elemental legendary. Blue-red. Negate. Assimilate. Counter target spell. Yeah. Or yeah. I kind of like this. A 3-mana tapper with 3/3 feels better. Especially in white. Like, it's fine. Deals 3 damage on the way in. We definitely need some removal along that line. I really wish we had some... Oh, we have another Strobe Knight. No, we're taking the other Strobe Knight. These things are too good. We're just going to keep pooping out bodies. Hopefully we can wheel this. I'm fine with this card if we can wheel that too. Expedition Lookout, not really very good. Wicked Slumber, very, very good. Creature count is currently at 14 though. So, yeah. Oh my god, more Strobe Knights. Are we just going to strobe our way through this? Is there any reason to take the Tidal Terror? Or the Inga Rune Eyes? Yeah, no. We're not going with filler. We're gonna do some nutty stuff. We're gonna be making bodies. Like a lot of bodies. We do have a knight over here, which is good. And nothing in white. And no removal, no interaction. So more knights Here's the Tidal Terror finally. Here's the Bounce spell. Second from the top. Almost premium removal. I do think we want the removal spell. But which would you rather have? Um, this is kind of a removal too. And it leaves a +1. Yep. Mm-hmm. There's another knight too. But almost can't pass up the first strike or two, off the bat. Mana Smoothing. Creatures with 1 can't be blocked. Wicked Slumber. Stasis Field. Kind of a little bit more like there. Wicked Slumber feels better to me because of the convoke ability. Take a Flying Knight that I can convoke in on the cheap over the Phyrexian Censor. Much better card, but we ain't got no Phyrexians. Alright. Sunder the Gateway would help us get rid of a non-token artifact or enchantment. Or it could just incubate. Yeah, Sunder the Gateway it is. It's cheaper, happens faster, and we are definitely going to go low and wide. Yeah, I definitely think I'll take the card that replaces itself with a 3/3. Definitely don't think that's going to work. Okay, I do want some beef at the top. So many carapaces. Currently have 20 and 11. What's really nice about our 20 on the body side of things is that we've got a really neat synergy happening here between the 3 flyers that sacrifice their way into success. Why did I have to sacrifice a creature on my end? I still am not 100% certain I understood what happened in that game. Maybe there was like a sacrifice synergy that I was missing, but who knows. All right, we'll put the blue card back in and take a look. We're starting at 20 and 12 with 17 lands in there. Only 5 instants and only 2 sorceries. So very curious to see what the deck looks like here. Recurring from the graveyard's cool, but we're really not doing this late game thing, like anywhere. And so if I just cut, for now, the cards that required splashing, okay, and nothing else. These cards both don't, they're just slow for right now. They could allow us to splash, so we'll just leave them in there for now. That would just leave us with 4 cuts, which is pretty impressive because, man, we've got a flyer that can convert and then start to get +2s when we sacrifice a creature. We've got a guy who can make a creature that will essentially tap and be sacrificed each turn, just constantly spitting out 2/2s. Did I say we have a guy? We have 3 of each. It's almost constructed in the synergy that we're trying to pull on that. That is just crazy. We have 2 Protocol Knights that are a little bit expensive, but they do put a stun counter on a creature if you control another knight, and we will almost always have another knight, right? Between our Preenie champions that also make creatures that are sacrificable, and this guy who can actually do a little bit of work after transformation. Definitely something that slows down some of the spells against us. And then just a nice little blocker with first strike. Or not blocker, but a nice little way to attack with first strike. And 2 more knights just for the fun of it. Oculus Whelp might be the weakest of our flyers. But I would rather, these are also, this is a nice removal spell, can help you get the white mana if you desperately need it, can help you get the blue mana if you desperately need it. And then this thing convokes in as a flying 3/4, which is pretty good. Um, yeah, I can see a lot of extra bodies like going wide and then getting something like this in on the cheap without having to really spend any mana, just kind of looking at the end of the turn. Are there 4 cards that we would like to get rid of down here? So cards that I'm less excited to play are the Halberd, the Eyes of Gitaxias. I think we're going to need some of this. And the Moment of Truth, right? Those 3 just don't have the kind of interaction on the board. I don't think we're going to. I mean, if our engines hit the deck, I don't think we're going to need a lot of other stuff. All of these are going to get taxed by Talia out there, and I'm not super happy about that. These are going to be nice in the 2-drop slot as far as interaction is concerned. That's 4 of them. Wicked Slumber is absolutely necessary. You pick just the right moment to pause them, and then they end up losing the attack that they're on. They get paused for another turn, and then they stay tapped for another one. Like it's usually enough to win a game off of if you can use it in the right spot. Would love to have had more of those for sure. I think we get rid of those 3. That gives us 41, 18 creatures, 6 non-creatures. As far as removal is concerned, this thing's kind of neat though too. When a permanent you control transforms, or a permanent enters the battlefield under your control transformed, right? So what would we be transforming is the question. It would just simply be our angels. It would also be our Order of the Mirror, and that is it. So the Corruption of Tawashi may, I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 transforms. We might get a card draw out of it, and it's going to be a 5 mana 4/4, 6 mana to put it on the board total. Yeah, that just doesn't fit. There's no reason to go slow. Probably want in reverse order here. We play a little bit of counter magic during the first 2 or 3 turns. We put out some cheaper guys down here. For 1 mana, we can definitely prevent blocks on the way in, which is good. This is also going to help prevent blocks on the way in, which is good. And then we are just going to be really, really wide. We're going to be flyers, which is going to help us evade. And then we're going to be really wide. We do have 1 more removal. So we've got 1 removal, 2 pauses for 2 turns, 2 stuns when they enter the battlefield to open up lanes. We've got preening champion flyers, so 4, 5, 6, 7 flyers right here in the top, and then we also have another guy who's going to tap them. So we're aggro, and we're just aggro and opening up lanes, aggro and opening up lanes. That's what we are. I kind of dig it. We ended up with 10 knights, 10 humans, 18 total creatures. I think that this deck would look good with maybe anybody a knight? Don't do that. Kind of white, kind of blue. Confirm. Yeah, cards that we're leaving behind. This is a nice looking curve too. This looks like a Phyrexia all will be 1 level curve. My God. uh, we don't have any 1-drops. That's the big miss right there. But protection with interaction. I think we're going to have to change our mind about the timing on things. if Talia hits, it's going to really adjust. It's going to force us to adjust a lot. We don't have a ton of spells, though. We only have 5, right? So we are going to hit him much, much harder than we're going to hit ourselves. So Talia comes out for sure. Or stays in the deck for sure, I should say. These were our cuts. We had a really, really powerful invasion. And we do have... We never picked up any of the mana to go after it. But it's okay. We're going with Knight synergies, baby. In decks that like this that I've never played with before, I usually like to test them out before I jump into games. You can see how when I made one little quick fast click, I messed up and totally ruined the rest of the draft because of that one little click. Now, misplays happen. It's okay. I'm not freaking out about it, but it is a bit of a bummer to look at and say, oh, like we could have had an extra win. We could have done so much better. So what I'm going to do is throw some of those blue cards back in just because I can. Sure. 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 So the green splashes are going back in, which means that we'll have the possibility of doing an Inga splash later. Don't need any of these guys. Don't need any of these guys. I like this one, though. I'll tell you what, we're not going to make our life too crazy. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry. Shouldn't have done that. We'll turn you into a standard deck, which will make Zerata over here unplayable. We will fix some land, not a ton, but we'd like to add maybe some slow lands for fixing in the white and black and maybe the white and green. Because again, we're not judging this based on win percentage, right? We're judging this based off of like learning. Did you learn? Where is the green white? There it is right there. 2 of those. So, Blossoming Sands, check, check. Thornwood Falls, Scoured Barrens, maybe a black and blue. Slow land too. Okay. And then that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 green sources with 1, 2, 3, 4 black sources. Is that right? Yeah. What's land count at? 25. We can come down 1 land, I guess. Come down you. And then let's take a look and see what we would want to do. So we definitely need to add 6 more filler cards. I'd like to put, typically I just go to the outsides and say like, do I have an extra one of you? You know, and then I go the other way. I'm fine with doing those 2. And then maybe doing like some of these counter spells. Because they're the things I'm going to have to practice on the most. Don't need another Talia. These things are funny. Do we have another Seraph? We did. It might be a little too strong. Nope. Try the other Strobe Knight. Okay, so we ended up with a lot less creatures than our typical one. Maybe we should get rid of like the Eyes of Cataxis, and we should get rid of like the Moment of Truth, and see if there are like an Order of the Mirror. Nope. And no. 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 Nope. Yes. Nope. Did you have that? Nope. We did. Okay. I like that. What other things could we have done? We could have put another one of those guys on there. And we could have put another one of those guys or another one of those guys. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to continue to make, the cards that we didn't take as our splashes to see how we like them to see if there's things that we really want out of those cards. And then I'm going to come back and look at like how did the Knights synergy, how did the Seraph of New Capenna synergy work out. Seraph might be our win con. I don't know. We're going to play a bot match, then I'm going to go get some lunch. We're not going to do this for too long. So if you're waiting for games, it'll be on the next stream. Just giving you a heads up now so you're not sitting here watching something that you don't want to watch. All of you. Both, none of you. Whatever. Right. It's so crazy. Here we go. Don't know what a good hand looks like yet, but I do like this. We'll just get this fast land out now and then end the turn so that we have the ability to negate. Yeah, that guy is scary enough. Feels good to remove them before they even hit the deck. Nothing to do on 4. I have another Seraph. Can transform at 4 with. So if I throw this, do this, and transform her, it will cost me the 2 life, but wow. We got a 3/3 attacker in here now. Okay. My man's got some engines. They're all going to go up when things die. Scares me. Don't have it yet. That's okay. Mm-hmm. No. We need one of those knights, right? The faster a knight shows up, the better. Typhoid rat. Okay. We'll do pass to blockers. Probably just delete this guy for right now. How dare you? Let's say black. Well, what's better than 2 flyers? How about 3? You know what? That means we're threatening lethal on this guy in the next turn. He's not threatening lethal right now. We'll just say no. We did it! We got a strobe knight. Go next. Not that I would do it normally, but it's fun. They're so big and strong. You're dead. Wow. Flyers are neat. I'm not so sure why we didn't experience any removal in that practice. We drew 3 Seraphs in a row, and they turned out to be fine. Right? Like, we didn't have the fodder to really pump them up and turn them into 5 bangers in the sky, but pretty good, man. Pretty good. Okay, 2 lands, 1 slow. Some things to do in white. Start there. Nothing in the 2 mana slot to cast, unfortunately, so we're going to do another life. And get right back to 20 life here. Let's say next, end. Piece of equipment could have come out. Probably should have come out. Okay, so not a lot of things to do. Man. Should have paid attention to the fact that there was no chance they were going to just sack out the 1/1. This isn't going well. How about 2 bodies? Let's see. That felt really, really good. Definitely think it's Oculus Whelp time. Because then I can throw this out and equip it next time. Creature gets +1 and gets Vigilance. That makes our non-existent creature non-exist. How dare you? You make me use this on you. How dare you? God! Yeah, this is not going well. I'm going to go with not going well here. You got another burn spell? Just 3 in a row? You do! You do! You endless trash bucket. Oh, now I have no creature. And you're going to make me end up playing my Wicked Slumber at the... Oh, of course. More burn spells. Why wouldn't you? Just keep going. More burn spells? I'm not going to play it on a 1-1 right now. I got 8 turns to draw a creature. Come on, baby. I got one. Have some vigilance. Yay. I'm just going to do this just for the +1. Right? It's just a bunch of extra. There you go. That's going to force me to do some things. We'll start with you. We will Wicked Slumber 2 of them. Actually, I'll tell you what. We'll hold off. I need 4, and I've got 4. So I'll just hold off on that and say next, and then just attack in with the 1. I dig it. How come you have vigilance? Oh, we have to go fast on the spells. I still like the Strobe Knight. But we gotta start remembering to double spell turn by turn. Okay. 5 removal spells or 4 removal spells in a row. That was unexpected. All right. Wait, what? Wow. I mean, when you get locked, you get locked. Okay, something to know. Don't keep a hand that doesn't have the mana in it. It's like playing a real mono red. Last freebie. Oh my god, we're gonna lose more players. Do your little thing. Okay. Okay, so 3 and 1 is a double spell, giving me an opportunity to tap this guy and create another knight. I think that's what we're going to do. And then we're not going to attack. Of course. He's only got one card, so it's got to be the most perfect card. Any chance to double spell? No. Does Sunder the Gateway do anything? Can make some bodies. Alright. I'm starting to feel a little better here. I could have attacked in with the Vigilance, but I don't know. Interesting. Dang it. I'll transform in the next one. Probably should have sworn in. Could have double done. Okay. What I wouldn't give for a black piece of mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have enough to block on the back end. No. Ain't gonna be no blocking. I dig it. Okay. It's a good trade. Whew. I did not like that at all. We're supposed to be aggro and we got run over. I mean, we definitely were able to stabilize eventually, but that's only because he didn't draw all those other cards. I hated that. Oh, I could have done that one. I could have got my strobe knight back. Yeah, you can kill it. No reason to lose a creature over that. Speaking of lose a creature, your turn. Damn. Like, I'm shocked sometimes. That counts as a double spell. While battles with strobe knights are amazing. Yes, yes, yes. So watch this. We go next. We attack here. We get rid of you. Go to next. Go to next. Hit him for 5. Flip it. take it, that opens up this strobe knight. Because this was 1, and so it didn't count. This is 2. So what did we get out of here? We got the Broken Sky enchantment. Creature tokens you control get +1 and have lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, you get to create a 1/1 white-black creature float. Like, wow. We need to get that in our deck. Because if we can double spell, we can do a lot. Let's do this. That should get Strobe Knight over here. Oh no, he can't tap. I messed up. Sure. Well, I did say I wanted to... We're going to... No, we'll get rid of that. Are you shitting me? Are you kidding me? He sells out that hard? Join as Daniel. Okay, we can put 2 more bodies out. Things aren't going well for us on the mana front. We haven't been able to pull one in forever. And don't think that that solved any problems. Going to take a massive hit here. 8, 9, 10. 8, 9. Yep, 10. He's going to go back up. If I don't pull a mana here, it's game over. I did. It's not game over. Yay. Dude had 2 battle tricks. Like, 2. Only 2 cards in his hand, but the 2 Exacxies that he needs to get me, which is just nutso. All right, out you go. Let's get Tidal Terror. And I think we attack in on this and see what happens here. And we'll do this and give it protection from white and kill its biggest threat. We'll still have some major life gain problems. I could go wide here. But if I do this, are you a knight? No, you're a samurai. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I go crazy on the attacks, but I don't mind the trade here. Oh, hold on. I could just flip this. I didn't think about that. Does create a blocker. We can drop you, pause you, all attack with everybody. I could tap him and him. It's interesting because you can tap creatures that are already going to be tapped. Can't find a green mana. Don't think it's going to end up mattering. Whoo! Boy. That invasion. How do we slip that invasion back in? That thing is nutty. It fits everything that we want to do so well. Use the flyers to flip it, get it out on the board. So the easy answer is we splash green. Didn't we have another? Yeah, white, green. So the easy answer is we splash green. We bring in our rare in order to go like this. And we lose like this knight. That gives us 3 green sources for 1 pip of green. And once we do, they can suddenly convoke. Like all of our creatures can convoke. And that does work so well with the knights being so wide too. It allows us to really go kind of crazy. Inganessica, Invasion of Toll, Vara. I just hate the idea that like I can't cast it. Without a black mana on the table. "17 creatures, 16 non-spells. I have a creature over here. This is really good too. Mm. Whoa. We need some power. Okay, so things that I've messed up, right? I messed up the Strobe Knight by bringing in a 5-mana spell and taking out a convocable 6-mana spell. Okay, we can say I didn't mess it up. I definitely took out the 2-mana creature and replaced it with a 4-mana creature. And I took out something else and replaced it with this invasion. What can I fix? Could bring back the cheap creature, allowing more opportunities to double spell and take out the flyer. I think that works better. Moment of Truth is just card draw. This is really nice for the double spell. So it's like a 1/1, but a lot of our creatures have vigilance. Sunder the Gateway has not turned out to be that good, but it could free up a creature of ours and create a 2/2 on the back end. I think that's actually better than I think. This allows us to attack with young, cheaper guys, which can help us kind of flip battles. Pretty scary stuff to play this mana. I think we take you out and we just depend on these two. Maybe we'll put one back in. Just one. That's all we need anyway. We don't have the ability to draw it, but we have it, and then we have this. And between the two, we should be able to keep our invasion out. It's kind of a late game card anyway, allowing us to bring back like Alabaster Hosts and stuff like that. It's pretty good. What other cards could we bring in for double spell action here? We're down to 16 and 6. But we do have this as a 17th kind of creature, and then if we do this right, we can actually end up getting an opportunity to make some creatures go wide so fast with the Strobe Knight and with the Invasion of Tolvada. This thing lets us spell and draw a card. This thing also gives us card advantage. We need 2. Do I go with 2 non-creatures in the 3-drop spot? Do I take a 1 and the 4 flyer to kind of recreate what's going on here? We'll have some transformed creatures. is a lot easier to flip. It's easier to cast, and it's gonna help. I think these two cards have more strength in them than this does. Alright, so I've got 3 greens. 1, 2, 3. I'm splashing 1 invasion that will let us scry and then let us draw to replace and gives us a 4/4 if we flip. And so I'm okay not having it here. I'm okay ending up casting it like on 4 or 5 over here. So really both of our scries, or both of our stuff, like we've got a 1, 2, like, so we start with 7. With 3 cards in there, we need to get to 13 cards. So turn 6 is the average to have it. I only have blue, white. We have 7 of each. We've got 2 ways to get there too. I could probably just live without this. Take the 17th land. We're never so good on creatures that we don't need them. Although I've wanted to run 16 lands in a slower format quite a bit. One of these 3 needs to make the deck. Are you better? I think you are. So 17 creatures instead of 18. 16 lands instead of 17. But an invasion that will turn into a body. A creature. Like we're playing all of our rares now. Right? Which is probably the smart move. We didn't really go up in the non-creatures too much, but she's going to make some non-creature spells more expensive. I still think, since this is happening so late in the game, that that's fine. That's what you test, because you never know. You might find out that, like, the card that you cut was super necessary. Getting back the Alabaster Host Incessor is probably the greatest thing in the game for us, because it takes another guy off the table for them. What the heck is this game? Come at me with no land, or like 1 land? It's off. Okay, Strobe Knight. Depends on what he throws. Yeah. Printing Champion will help. Against those 5. Okay. 4 mana. 2 whites. We can double spell the next turn. Very, very wide of you. Okay. Put out Center of the Gateway. Incubate and bring up a guy. So that's like a 2/2 for 2. And then target creature here that doesn't have vigilance. Give him protection from red. Not that we're that concerned about it. Oh, I guess he didn't get vigilance. Tap this dude to make another body. I'll attack him. It's currently threatening 8. And then the attack after that would be lethal. It's kind of nuts. We can just take out the 2s, and then we're taking 6. Talia will help, but so will he in maybe a better spot. Come on, bro. Cast your last card, would you? Cast it. Thank you. Okay. I could do Talia. And I could convoke my way into this, which would cost me 3 blockers, but I would gain back 1 and then be able to make another. So it's just costing me 1 blocker to get it out now, and I think that's worth autopay. Nope. You don't even have one. The heck? We can take out their 3/2 on another turn someday. What do you say we just go in with the flyers? Threaten lethal from the sky on the next turn. Oh, still don't have enough. Can you believe that? I dig it. Nice. Sparky, you didn't run me over that time. That's because I learned how to play the cards. One more time. Okay. Nothing before turn 3. Oh, I have this deck. I think we go Preening Champion, Knights, then Strobe and Seraph. So Preening Champion comes in, drops a 1/1. Kind of freezes everything just a little bit. Just never know. Double blocks. 5 mana. Everything is a 3, and we don't even have the mana for this. I think we do it again. Huh. This is a good trade. What the heck? Nope. I will be chump blocking you. Fargin ridiculous, my friends. Fargin ridiculous. I can still double spell. No, I can't? Oh, it's 4, not 3. Sure. Good. Nice little attack from our chump blocker here. I'm going to have like 50 health here. Need a pause on you. Don't know how to do it, but that's what I need. Just, yeah, it's fine. No. I can only do 5 damage to him. Thank you, God. One card. Oh, he didn't attack? Why didn't he attack? Did you feel as bad for me there? Why are you attacking? What? You are serious? You can't be serious. I guess that's why we learn. No way. We might be able to pop the invasion on the next one. Unbelievable. Almost got him back to 20. Sure. Why wouldn't you? Goodbye. Ah! Yeah, double spell. We're flipping that sucker. Think we got it. Holy frazzle cannon. No. Oh, yeah. See you later, pups. Well, we go wide quick at the end. We just got to get through the first 2 or 3 turns. Dahlia's a good answer for that. Uh-oh. That's fine. I think 2 bodies is better than 1 right now. Sure. okay with that. We only have enough for one spell anyway, so let's use as much of our mana as we can. You dirty son of a... Still don't have the mana to do... Well, no, wait. Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to count as 2. He's got plenty of mana, so this isn't going to really accomplish what I want it to accomplish, but... I could have done 2, but I kind of want to see how this goes out with this on the deck. You're big enough to go right now. Oh my God, Becky. Take his nest robber. Look at her butt. It's so big. We'll do something like that and see what gets... Oh, I could have just tapped out to make it unblockable? What? Could have saved that one. That's okay. I dig it. Hello, Mr. Transformed card. Would you like to... Why do I have to pay 1? Why do I have to pay 1? But why would I have to pay 1? Oh, because of her. Oh, that sucks. You dirty, dirty girl. Please die. Dang it. She didn't die. Ouch, kabibbles, is all I'm going to say. It's fine. Hey, look at that. Perfect. Okay. Mistakes were made, and then they weren't. Yeah, I definitely like it. Getting a chance to go wide's huge. Opening hands matter a lot. This is good, though. When you have 2 different cards that you're going to get a chance to cast, right? We'll let the 2/1 go by if it wants to. Could do an Order of the Mirror, could do a Strobe Knight. We'll just say no on the blocks, it's fine. I guess we would probably do the Order of the Mirror in order to end up in a better spot. Yeah. Good on you. Okay. Maybe that was a mistake. Guess we'll do... I kind of need the time. I really do. If I can get the host out, just take 2 damage here. That's 5, which means I can pop you. I can pop you. Sure. Yeah, I know. I know. Dang. We were so close. Say next, no attacks, end turn. Facing down 7 damage, about to be 8. Nope. Yeah. Hard to believe. I know, I know. Come on, you. We're going to freeze some boys here. That's a good trade. No Talia, right? Scared. Scared. Right. If you don't think that you end up in board states like this, you're crazy. It happens all the time. Get the 4/4 just before we flip the invasion. Alright, click next. Flip it now anyway, even though it's going to, unfortunately, not trip this again. But we do get that, which is nice. And turns. Oh, we're so wide so fast. You gonna heal me? What? I don't even remember that removal spell existing. Would you like a strobe knight? How about an oculus whelp? I could move that around. Say next. I think we just throw this guy out there before the other guy gets too big. It's a really nice stabilization for the health. Oh, look at you. Extra flyer. Corruption's nice, dude. Yeah. Just heal right up. Corruption and Tawashi mixed in with this Broken Sky. Well, we'll never get this. It's kind of an important part to remember, but... We're going wide. And the Strobe Knight we're getting the hang of. I think you have to think 2 moves, like 2 turns. It takes 3 cards to do it. But if you do it that way, you can get quite a bit. Out of those 3 cards, you end up with 4 creatures. Uh-oh. 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 Can't draw any white mana, but I can draw a bunch of cards I can't play. Coming at me for 9 on the next turn. Hey, a slow land in the color that I need. Just gonna cancel here, go next. Screw you, scathing zombies. Mm-hmm. Hey, what do you know? 2 bodies for the price of 1. That's really like price of 2. But it's okay. They have vigilance. We're gonna lose one of them to one of these things. Or we'll lose them all. Of course. Uh-oh. 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 Fast land? And we're back to threatening 9 again. No fast land. Cancel. We'll wait until we get the most out of it. That's 4 mana. We have 1 more to spend. We are spending it. Five damage. Fast land. Slow land. Why wouldn't ya? I'm just 1 turn away now from getting some stabilization, right? I don't know why he wouldn't do that, but maybe he just didn't want to lose him. You got Vig. Here come the tricks. Go away. First time. First time we got a chance to actually cast that card. Insanity. Yeah. How come she died? I guess.